Now, I believe you've clicked on this video to get an answer to one of the most burning questions that this generation has. Are women real? Let's begin. So let's create a little bit of a timeline here, just to gauge where we're at. So on the very left, the timeline is just beginning of time. That's what we have. And on the right is current. That's the present day. And let's just say right in the middle is when women were created. Now, as many of you may or may not know, women were created in the 1950s. So let me write this down real quick. The 1950. And also in the 1950s, we were in a time of war. The Cold War was just beginning to start, as well as an excess of plastic production being made. I'll touch on that later. And when it came to the Cold War specifically, the U.S. government had two problems. One, no one wanted to go to war. There was nothing to fight for, really. And then number two was that they didn't really have the funds to go to war. But the U.S. government, as they always do, had a plan. So what they did is they created these android beings, and they called them women, and made them very attractive to men. And on top of this, they costed a lot of money to have, but they were worth fighting for. That is one of the problems being solved. But even then, there still wasn't enough funds to actually fund a war. And so what they did is they used that excess plastic that they had to make condoms so that they could sell that and make a whole lot of money. That way they were actually able to fund the war. Now, if you find this somewhat hard to believe, I'm not surprised. The government has been trying to hide this for years, pretty much. But it's all public knowledge. You couldn't look it up. But if you're still having problems wrapping your head around it, let me ask you this. When was the last time you came in contact with a woman? I didn't think so. It's just, they're not real. And if you have, they're just government drones. They're not actual people. So what did we learn today? We learned that the U.S. government created women to sell more condoms due to the excess of plastic production to help fund with the Cold War. And on top of that, we also learned how and why you get no game. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate the support. In our next video, we're going to calculate when your dad is coming back. It might take a while for me to get that one out because mine still has not come back yet.